Okay, so what we'll be doing now is actually starting the door, and you want to do the door in sections. What we're going to try and do with the gun here is make the fan a little bit bigger, because obviously we've only got about 1.5 inches, about 2.5 inches there. So if you make the fan just slightly better, but just remember, by adding a bigger fan, you just want to just slightly turn the paint up. Sometimes you don't have to, just check it as you go. The first coat on the door, I'm going to flick it into the corners here. You'll see that it's quite tucked away in the corners there, so if I just knock them in first, then I guarantee that I've actually got them as I pass through. And then all the beads inside the window, I'm actually going to hit all them first as well. This is just so that I'm assuring that I've got everything as I come past, and I'm not overloading it. I'm just flicking them in bit by bit, each side by side. And to be honest, this is good practice to do it like this. It get you used to your angles. I would suggest doing this on an old door before customers. Just practicing really, and just learning which way that gun's going. What you will find with this as well is sometimes there is little bits, like if I go around that corner now, until you get good at it, you won't be able to get around that edge very well. As you can see, I've worked that section in a bit at a time. I'm not going straight through the whole door, but now it's pretty simple. I know what I've got to do. It's just completely flat. So all I'm going to do is bring my edges down so far, and the inside there, inside the paper, because they're sort of tucked away behind the edge of the paper there. And I'm just going to continuously go left to right. And again, not too heavy, not missed, but not too heavy. Just overlap 50% and just consistently go left to right. What you don't want to be doing again is overloading the paint. So again, just now working on that bottom section now. The good thing about this paint is you can join it quite well without noticing you've done it, and add bits in as long as it's still wet. So it's not like you're airless where you're painting your woodwork where you've got to try and do it in one. You can be a bit more relaxed with it as you're going through, and as I said, if you miss bits you can just go back over again. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing now is starting onto the door, and again I want to move that fan, make it wider again, because I don't want to be spraying with 1.5 to 2 inches of fan. I want it to be, I would say, sort of 4 to 5 inches perfect. So again, I'm going to do it exactly the same way this time, but I'm just going to put it on a little bit heavier, obviously because you're not double passing over this. All I'm going to do is make sure my overlaps are nice and tight, and I'm consistently keeping it wet. So going around my beads again, individually to make sure that they're all coated up nice and wet. Basically, when I say wet, you're just looking for that shiny coat really. So I'm going to be moving on now, going along the top and edges and bring that top end of the door in. So again, working in smaller sections like I said before. You don't want to be going too far down and getting lost throughout the door. Just making sure you got it all, because last thing you want to do is spray the whole door, demask it, and then see that you've not covered something. So now I'm going to work down to so far. So again, what I'm going to do is bring those edges in at that 45 degree. And the reason I'm doing the 45 degree there is to make sure that I'm getting into the gap between the paper and the door frame. And then I'm consistently going left to right across the door. But if you notice this time, I'm not moving down the door so fast. My speed left to right, it stays the same and consistent, but my moving down is going slower. So my overlaps are tighter going through the door. And all this is going to mean is I'm putting more products onto the door. So because it's not like the window, you're going to be going over it like almost twice in 2 passes. You're just consistent moving down the door, but just making sure your overlaps are nicely tight and stuck together.